Hush your mouth. Hello, everyone. Okay. I always do this backwards. There, fix it. Okay. As you can see, I've done some work here. Got rid of some bookshelves that were back there. Had to go through some boxes of stuff. Literally, we were putting stuff in boxes and totes and just putting it in here when we had our living room, dining room, and kitchen is one big open space. So we literally were putting everything kind of in here because we had all the flooring redone at the same time. This is many years ago now. And we kind of never bothered with the room again. So my room has been cut off to me until now because I need a studio space. Oh, hang on. Sorry, the air conditioner is loud. I forget. So I hope you can hear me now. Okay. Anyways, I've been working really hard. You guys saw me when I first came in the studio. I literally was sitting in the doorway with my back to the hallway, and then I was able to actually sit just inside the doorway. And now I have my desk in here. I have space behind me. I was trying to put up some like sticky wallpaper stuff, like it's not glued, but it's basically essentially like thick contact paper or shelf liner paper stuff. Anyways, I got it on Amazon. The biggest nightmare ever. First of all, you have to be able to keep the stuff completely flat, right? Because if you don't, you like just touch it, it will crease. Well, the creases then, once on the wall, become actual lines. And I have wood paneling walls that I hate with a passion. And you could, well, first of all, it was supposed to be thick, right? You could see the color of the wall. Like you could see the wood color, let alone seeing all the little stripes. But then where all those grooves were, it all like bubbled and rippled. And I really had like got the scraper thing to like smooth it all down. It just wasn't working. So I ripped it off the wall and I put up some curtain backdrops or photography backdrops for now. I need to do, I see there's a little gap there. Anyways, so that's where I'm at. Eventually I'm going to end up painting the room, which my husband hates painted paneling. I was going to paint over the paper because I got like a white textured paper. I was just going to paint over that. Well, no, now I'm painting on the paneling and I don't care because I need this space. And I have decided going with a dark backdrop might work, but it makes this room feel incredibly small because I got the curtains up last night and I just where they're at in the corner, it's like, ooh, it felt like the walls were closing down in on me. So I am not a fan of the dark wall. I don't know. I guess I can see I see it. I see that it does look good. Maybe I have to have the right color. That's just like a dark hunter green. I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. But so that's where we're at for now. I built a little table that's got an outlet on it. So it's got 2 outlets and then 3 USB plugs. And you can't see it. You can't see it. I thought it would be high enough. It's super cute. It's got a little drawer. And I got like all my favorite like crystals and gemstones on top of it. A lot of amethyst, which is a couple of my favorite. Shocker. I have my one attack turtle. I have my barrel man. And if you know what barrel man is, please leave me a comment. Because if you know, you know. And I finally found him. He had been missing for several years, and I knew he was around. But I got it at my aunt's from the PI, so that's why I have Barrel Man. That's how I know about Barrel Man. And then I have a plant propagation station that's a stand. Since you can't see it, it doesn't matter. It actually has love written on it on the little blocks, and I'm thinking about taking out my wood burning kit and darkening it. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I still have to hang my propagation stations on the wall that I have, the wall mounted ones, and then I have shelves and stuff. So yeah, coming along with the remodeling. Why is my iPad is not saving a video? I do have part of a video, a hearing. Really, dude? You know what? We might just go to watch it from the court's YouTube. I edited out all the dead space and stuff of this hearing, but I was laughing so hard when I watched it. It was great. It was one of those like, wait, what? No. Yeah, I was doing a lot of that. Anyways, okay, so today is my 1 year YouTubeaversary. I published my very first video 1 year ago today here on YouTube. Well, not my first video, my first court video. Now, there wasn't the first time I had recommended videos to a channel. That was still happening in the beginning, but it was the first time I uploaded a video. So our first video is going to be that. Then I'm going to replay my most watched video, which I think it's a good video. I think it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I know I've been kind of in and out with consistency as far as, you know, putting out content. I am not a content mill. I have complicated health stuff going on, so I'm just doing what I'm able to, and I absolutely appreciate all the support. I think I had 3 subscribers when I published my first YouTube, like my first court lawsuit video, and I'm at. Have I hit 3,000 yet? Dog. Fritz, stop. You need to stop, buddy. Sorry, he's being very barky today. Yeah, I honestly don't know how many subscribers I have. I don't think I've hit 3,000. Oh, almost. I'm at 2,839 as of right this moment, according to my data, whatever, analytics. Anyways, so yeah, I've gained some followers, which is wonderful. As you guys know, my live streams, I tend to be more reactionary in the videos, and I give comments. So yes, if that is going to bother you that I pause the video often, and I try to pause it as little as I can. But if that style of video you don't like of mine, then this isn't going to be the video for you, because that's what my live streams are. But other than that, if you're here for my wit and humor and sarcasm and maybe good looks, then you're in the right place. So yeah, let's kind of get started. First, I'm not an attorney. I know you guys are scandalized. I know it's a scandal. I'm not an attorney. Okay. Ooh, he's gonna make me mad. Maybe I should be an attorney. I could hire a dog trainer. Anyways, I'm not an attorney. I'm not making any legal conclusions, nor am I giving any legal advice. And if I say something that sounds like legal advice, please don't follow it, because it's probably wrong. Anyways, all comments are my opinion, regardless or irregardless of any verbiage that I may use. Yes, both are real words, just so you know. One's just an irregular word. If that bothers you, well, then bye-bye as well. That's fine. Where was I? Oh, yeah. All persons are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And my videos are not official court record. As much as I think that would be amazing, that would be cool, it's not. I'm just here for the reactions and sharing the Michigan courts. Maybe you might learn something. Anyways, let's. My mouse does not like this desktop. Let's get the first video. Where'd it go? Are you guys ready for this?
Workhouse case, people versus Monet Mudala Bay.
Grace Hydorn on behalf of the people.
Ready, Judge.
Okay, so I've actually been questioned as to why I call this the drunkish Moorish American, and it is because of her last name. I actually wasn't aware. Apparently, people that subscribe to the Moorish stuff, they adopt the last name Albay or Albay or whatever, but Bay is apparently, that's what I was told. I did not hear or see anything by this woman that says that she's a Moorish American or a Sovsit, but I was going based off of what I had other much more learned and experienced people were telling me. So that's why that name is the name it is.
Torshio Feaster, Assistant Public Defender on behalf of Ms. Mudala Bay. Please unmute and state your name for the record, ma'am.
Hi, it's Monet Madula Bay.
Mudala Bay. Thank you, Judge. I have spoken to her as well as to the prosecutor's office. My understanding is there is an offer in this file for her to plead guilty to count 1 under the HIDA program with an agreement to alcohol testing, and count 2 will be dismissed, Your Honor. She'd like to do that today.
I'm sorry, she wishes to do that?
That's
Yes.
All right, I do need you to turn on your camera if you would.
Yeah. I just woke up, guys. But
So it would be a plea to count 1.
Yes, Judge.
yes.
Okay, and you said that's with alcohol screening?
Yes, Judge.
With alcohol testing or screening? I guess
Testing is what I received.
Testing, yes.
okay. So that has to be part of any sentence. All right. All right, got it. All right, ma'am, can you please raise your right hand? You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I agree.
All right, state your name for the record.
Monet Madula Bay.
Put your hand
All right,
down.
you can put your hand down.
I wanted to.
All right, ma'am, it is this court's understanding that you're going to plead guilty to the charge of disorderly person drunk. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days and or a $500 fine plus court costs.
Can you repeat that last part, please?
Which last part?
All of it.
Just the whole thing.
I have not watched this since
So it wasn't the last part. You need the whole thing repeated.
Yep. I just want to be at this point. Say the whole thing. I want to be
Take the
sure.
towel off your ears and then you'll be good. That's the problem. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. So, you're pleading guilty to the charge of disorderly person drunk. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or a $500 fine plus court costs. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Understanding all that, do you still wish to plead guilty?
Yes.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
When you say that, you want me to just say what happened, right?
You have to say that. Do you plead guilty?
Oh yes, I plead guilty for being drunk and disorderly and resisting and being a little.
He's gonna ask you what happened. So hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
As soon as I advise you as to what your rights are, you're pleading guilty. Is that correct, ma'am?
Yes.
All right. Now you understand that by pleading guilty, you'll not have a trial of any kind.
I won't have a trial.
That's what I said. You understand that? That's the case?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Because you're not having a trial, you're giving up certain other rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance.
Thank you, Addie. I greatly appreciate that. It's been a year, that's for sure.
You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. And you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of it.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than dismissal of count 2 to get you to plead guilty to this charge?
Yes, the first judge that I'd seen, she said she was going to give me a personal bond. I don't know if that was for the first time I went
You
to
mean the
jail.
magistrate? You didn't see a judge. You saw a magistrate the first time.
Oh, magistrate. That's what her name is?
Well, that's her title. That she was going to give you a personal bond?
Yes.
Well, that's what's currently set. Why do you want me to take that away and arrest you and then give you a personal bond?
No, I just was letting you know that's the only thing that I.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's been promised to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody threaten you or coerce you in any way to get you to plead to this charge?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily?
I have to say, she's one of the funnier, clueless people that I've seen in this last year. Her naivety is actually very charming and rather funny.
Yes.
Of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Yeah. What happens in the dark comes to light. So y'all are going to see a video. So, yes.
Okay. You're right about the first part. What happens in the darkness does come to light. But I'm asking you a different question. You're pleading guilty because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Of being disorderly?
And drunk.
I thought disorderly was drunk.
It can be.
Well, I know I was drunk. And disorderly.
So you're pleading guilty to the charge of disorderly drunk because you believe that you are guilty of that.
Yes.
Thank you. On the wrong one. On the date of April 3rd, 2022, at the location of 3135 Scenic Lake Drive, Pittsfield Township, Washington County, State of Michigan. This ought to be fun. Man, what'd you do on that date that makes you think that you're guilty?
Well, I know that I don't normally drink, and I had like a premiere party because I just did a commercial. So we had some drinks. Casual drinks, but I'm not like normally a drinker, so I drank them. I guess I was mixing brown and light. I don't know if you know that that's not a good combination. And so, yeah, I was drunk.
Okay, so what happened?
I think I got into it with a family member, and that triggered me to be upset while I was under the influence. And I felt like no one was listening to me, so I wouldn't stop yelling. And so there was one officer that was like hearing me out and just understanding like I had a lot going on. And then the other officers, I don't think they were understanding, or maybe I wasn't understanding that they were understanding, and they just wanted me to stop yelling. And so I was just still yelling with the officer. And
okay, ma'am, hold on. Let's back
Poor
up.
judge.
Where were you when all of this was happening?
Scenic Drive, outside.
You were outside.
Mhm.
Okay. And so while you were outside, and you admit you were intoxicated, correct?
Yes.
All right. And you were yelling at either police officers or other people, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And were you yelling loud enough to disturb the peace and repose of the area around you? And
Somewhat.
other people? What do you
Somewhat. Yes.
Okay, what do you mean somewhat?
Loud enough, but I don't think I was
Hold on a
that
second.
loud.
You were loud enough to get arrested. right?
That wasn't why I wasn't. I don't think I was. The loudness was 100% the reason I was drunk. That was the reason. But I wouldn't not stop arguing with them. But my tone was loud.
So you were arguing with the police
Yes.
in public,
Yes.
and that caused at least their peace and repose to be disturbed, correct?
Yes.
And so, and so you admit by doing all of that, you were being disorderly.
Yes.
Counsel, please say yes, but has the court complied with the court rule and would it be proper to accept the defendant's plea?
Yes, Your Honor. I
The
believe
people
so.
are satisfied.
Sometimes it's like picking flowers, other times it's like pulling teeth. Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to count 1. Count 2 is dismissed. Ma'am, I'm going to refer you to probation
Mhm.
for pre-sentence investigation and report.
Okay.
Now, there is going to be alcohol testing. Ma'am, you have said numerous times during your plea, because I'm considering doing something else, that you don't normally drink.
Yes.
So this occurred in April of this year.
Yes.
So we are now in June.
Yes.
So for this entire year, how many times would you say that you consumed alcohol?
I don't know. I'd be prior to like a couple months before that, I was already in a program that basically was like a drug program that teaches people like
Well,
I don't know.
go ahead. So,
I don't think I was drinking a lot before that incident. And I
I know.
No.
Nobody ever does think they're drinking a lot. Listen, all I'm asking is from January 1st to today's date, how many times other than this time have you consumed alcohol? Just ballpark it.
Guesstimate.
Maybe 5 times. My birthday was January 23rd. I turned
Okay,
21.
well, thank you for sharing.
So I had to take my first shot.
I didn't. Did I ask it all for the days? I just needed the number of times.
Okay.
She just turned 21 in January.
Yes.
That's why you had to have your first shot.
I mean, I didn't have to, but I'm saying I was legal,
and then
so
by
everything was
April,
okay. But
by April, you were drinking and got arrested.
Yeah.
Not a good track record. That was less than 3 months.
yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do.
I've never been arrested for
I'm
drinking.
going to refer her to probation, but I'm also referring her to Von Swartz for an alcohol screening and assessment so we can figure out the level of testing. Okay, so you got 2 things you have to do. You have to do an alcohol screening and assessment, as well as you have to report to probation. Understood?
Yes. And if I have any questions on that process, who do I talk to?
Talk to your attorney, please. Not me. All right.
Okay.
So I didn't mean it that way.
No.
Maybe I did. Sentencing. July 13, 2022, 9 a.m. Bond.
That's when I have to do the testing.
No. That's when you got to come back and I impose sentence.
You have
What do
to
you
handle the testing before that. Call me and I will help you get everything
You're
set
going to have to get an alcohol screening and assessment, and you got to talk to my probation department.
Stop.
Okay.
Call me,
And
I'll
then
help you.
come back on the 7th or on July 13th, and then I'm going to give you your sentence.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
Woo.
All the other cases are ready to be recalled. Of course, everything is ready now. I have a feeling, though, just curious. All of that stuff I just ordered is not going to happen. I'm just telling you. She's going to get here on July 13th. There's nothing going to be ready. And I'm going to invite everybody back because we're going to hear a long story about why it didn't happen. Just saying. Yeah, you got to be Feaster,
Oh Lord.
Torchio.
I'm here.
Do not put that case on Miss Kleeman. You need to come back and deal with that case yourself.
Okay, I'll be
Because
back.
I think everything that just happened
It's my
and
fault.
the minutes in my life I don't get back are all your fault.
It's my fault, Judge.
Just saying,
I'm
okay?
sorry. I take sole responsibility.
Yeah, I know. And even if you don't, I'm holding you responsible.
Thank you, sir. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was hilarious. Okay. Now. Yeah, that was like the best part. He's not me. Judge Simpson always seems to get these wacko ones. And, that's part of the reason why I love Judge Simpson so much is how he handles it, because he could just be, well, 7/13. Okay, yeah, whatever, blah. Yeah, I really appreciate how Judge Simpson is with the defendants and the staff and the attorneys. I think it's great. He does have his moments. I have seen him get angry a time or two. And oddly enough, him getting angry is not my most viewed video. I had a feeling it was the video that it is. I smudged my glasses. Anyways, okay. Now we're gonna watch my most watched video. So coming in first place. My graphics were awful. They were so beautiful.
Court does call the case of the people versus James Johnson.
On behalf of the people.
Assistant Public Defender Melissa Kleeman on behalf of Mr. Johnson. And sir, can you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, James Johnson.
Thank you. And Your Honor, in regards to the bond violation, I have had a chance to speak with Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson denies that he had knowledge of the no contact order, but he does admit that he's had contact with the complaining witness.
What does he mean he is? I guess I don't understand that.
He said to me he was not aware that there was a no contact order when I went to speak with him about it.
Are we talking from the March date?
I suppose so, sir. You're saying that you never knew that there was a no contact order. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, if I, you know what I'm saying, if it is a no contact order, I didn't.
Oh yeah,
that
it gets
talk
pretty
to my
bad.
child mother, like I said, yeah, I admit that I've had conversation regarding, you know what I'm saying, my son and stuff like that. You feel me? But yeah, I admit that I did have contact with Mrs. Henderson, or whichever last name y'all might got Powell. But I do admit that I have had multiple contact with Mrs. Powell or Henderson. You know, like I said, we have a child in common, so we speaking about, you know, his birthday at the end of this week. We've been speaking about that. We've been speaking about a lot.
Mr. Let me
Excuse
just
me,
say
Your
this
Honor.
before
This
he
is
goes.
Miss Henderson, hang on one second, okay?
Okay.
Before
Miss
he goes
Henderson is
on.
here and wants to address the
Yes, I
court.
know.
Thank you.
Before he goes on that and starts trying to say what the calls were about, he needs to be aware that those calls were recorded.
Yes.
Probably, and there's a whole lot more on there than just that.
Yes, for sure.
All
And
right.
I'm aware. I mean, yes, Your Honor. Like I said, I've had multiple conversations with her, and I'm not trying to play on your intelligence
Well,
at all.
hold it. I don't mean to cut him off, but I guess I do, because those conversations may form the basis of additional charges, and I don't want the defendant saying anything that may jeopardize it, which is the reason I'm trying to stop him from saying what he's saying.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Anything from the people?
Yes, Your Honor. So there has been, I attached the bond form as Exhibit 1, which was, he was made aware at his arraignment from Magistrate Fink as of March 9th, 2022, that he was not supposed to have contact with the victim. As of this morning, the defendant has made 71 calls, including one call at 9:40 a.m. to the victim.
So, yeah, that is a big problem, like, across the board. That, and these people tend to also then turn it around, and it's somehow court corruption, or it's the fault of the court, or it's parental alienation, or it's the judge, or it's the this, it's the that, when in all reality, it's your behavior that caused you to lose custody of your kids or lose visitation with your kids. You didn't do something like, okay, if I had to share custody, I have a rainbow baby, or I had miscarried, so I don't have a child. But if he had been born alive, right, the dad and I would obviously not be together, and we would share custody. And if for whatever reason the court was to tell me I had to learn how to hula hoop with fire, you bet your sweet ass I'd be learning how to hula hoop with fire. I would do whatever it took to keep my visitations and my custody. I would do whatever I had to do to jump through every hoop that is put up in front of me in order to have my kid. So this is just their lack of priorities, honestly. Like, these people don't really truly care. I mean, maybe they think they do, they say they do, but at the end of the day, they don't. When they're out there doing all this nonsense, running around and doing whatever it is they're doing on the streets and just making an ass of themselves. So, yeah. But yeah, 71 calls. That's excessive. That's very excessive.
Victim. I have spoken to Ms. Henderson. The victim advocate has spoken to Ms. Henderson. I did see the emails that she sent to the court on behalf of herself and Mr. Johnson. It is my understanding she does not want to participate moving forward in this case. That being said, some of the calls I have viewed and attached have resulted in witness interference charges that have been charged but not typed or sworn to yet. So Mr. Johnson will have a felony resulting from the calls. So my concern is that just listening to the calls, I did speak to Ms. Henderson. She did tell me she does not want to proceed. She did tell me that she wants Mr. Johnson released for her children and for his other children, that they are starting school, that one has a birthday. I explained that at the time I spoke to her, that was not the only thing holding Mr. Johnson. At that time, he had a different case, which has now since been dismissed. I also let her know that there are other options. I believe she spoke with the victim advocate who made her aware of those as well. It's still my understanding she's no longer wishing to proceed. That being said, in the calls and the nature of the calls, I do have concerns about what Mr. Johnson told Ms. Henderson to do. And even the emails that were sent, Mr. Johnson told her directly to send those emails and where to send them to, including to Judge Conlon's court where he has his felony case. He also instructed her to send an email there. So I do have concerns with Mr. Johnson. still speaking to Ms. Henderson, regardless if she wants the no contact order or not, just in relation to this case. Also, in the jail calls, it was spoken about the actual charges of this matter. While Mr. Johnson made no admissions, Ms. Henderson did restate that that event did happen and that this is being treated like a home invasion, whereas it was just him kicking the door in.
No, can I say something?
Excuse me, what do
Well-
I speak?
Sorry, one second.
What can I speak?
Ms.
with the
Henderson,
judge?
we spoke and Ms. Roddy spoke to you, and this is not the forum for you to speak.
Yeah, that's when you told her that I was a bad guy.
Sir,
And you
sir,
Oh.
you had 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. And I do think the complaining witness would like to address the court. She has reached out to me as well, expressing that she doesn't wish for this court case to go forward and that she would like the no contact order lifted.
Can I speak as well?
The problem is going to be this, and that is she can address the court, but you know, the reality is if the calls that are made meted out, they're going to be able to use their statements and proceed by forfeiture. I mean, that's the problem with everybody saying everything. So I mean, if she wants to address the court, she can, but it's not going to do any good. It's not. I mean,
Your Honor, honestly, she been told Miss Kirby Caitlin before the charges even was brought about. She, you know what I'm saying?
Kirby
She been saying
Caitlin?
this, and Caitlin told her that I
oh,
was.
hold on, Mr. Johnson. I think, and I'm really going to advise you again, I think you need to be real careful about what you're saying.
Okay.
Because there is a felony charge that my understanding is going to be pending very soon on very serious charges. And as I told you before,
Not always. The no contact order is automatically in place if it's a DV in Michigan. So if it's domestic violence, there is automatically a no contact. So it's not that because of the no contact order, they withdraw the charges, but it's a part of the cycle of abuse. You know, he called her 71 times, like in a day or something, right? He was constantly calling her, and I think he was threatening. He was telling her she needed to drop the charges and all that stuff. Michigan does actually have the laws to where if it's a domestic violence charge, they can proceed without the complaining witness or without the victim. Does it make that case harder to win? Absolutely. A lot of times, if the victim is not willing to testify, they won't go through with it just because it makes it very hard to, you know, win that case, because you don't want to put your victim on the stand and have to treat them like a hostile witness. That is not a good look. So it's not because of the no contact order cases gets dropped. It's literally the cycle of abuse. So that's why that happens.
when we were dealing with your other cases, you tend, despite what your attorneys are telling you, to launch yourself into some stuff. And even
Absolutely.
you talking right now, this is the third time I've tried to stop you. You are just digging yourself a huge hole that in reality you may never get out of. And it's not going to be anybody's fault but you and your mouth.
You're right.
That's the best way that I can put it to you.
I understand. You know, me and you didn't have multiple. I understand though, and you didn't have multiple conversations, and you have informed me multiple times on several different matters.
To be quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
And let your attorneys do their work, because you just keep trying to interfere, thinking that you're getting ahead, and you are just flying out of the world backwards.
Yeah, I'm really trying to get myself up out of holes.
But you are not doing yourself any favors.
You're right. Well, Melissa, could you, if you would like to speak for me, please?
Yeah. Yes, and I do know Mr. Johnson strongly is asking the court to consider a dismissal. I have explained that the procedure would be to set it for final settlement conference, and it would be at that date when we would see whether or not the prosecutor could proceed. But he is asking the court to consider a dismissal today. In lieu of that, I'm asking the court to consider lowering his bond. It is, I believe, at $25,000. That is not something that he can afford to post. And I'm asking that in conjunction with the fact that the complaining witness has represented to me that she doesn't want to move forward with the case.
It's funny because back then, this was, I don't know when this was last year, but yeah, I thought $25,000 bond was like really crazy. No, I've definitely covered a case where a bond was like $1 million. So yeah, I've actually covered a couple $1 million bonds. I may not have published them, but I know I've recorded them.
Yeah, but you do understand that there's a method by which the people would be able to proceed in this case. And that's why I was trying to get the defendant to just be quiet, because he's added fuel to the fire in that regard. So, I mean, it wouldn't be your standard case of setting it. She comes in, says, I don't want to proceed, particularly if the court makes a finding that the basis upon which she's not proceeding is because of statements that the defendant made. I mean, so there's, all right. When are the felony charges already done? Or
Yeah.
Mr. Johnson?
The current ones that he has,
Yes.
so he has a, the one case was dismissed, and then he just had a probable cause conference last week on the felony R&Os. I can see what date those were set.
Yeah, I'm a PR for them, I believe. Hey, Miss Kleeman.
Yes.
You,
And Ms. Kirby, I guess what I'm wondering is the interference with the witness. Have those charges been filed already?
So they have been charged, but they haven't been signed yet because they haven't been typed yet. So they need to be typed and sworn out.
Okay.
Should I can put a rush on it and have it, ask the court officer to try to swear it out today.
All right. Because frankly, that is going to have bearing on this case. I mean, that's going to be the reality of it. So,
Your Honor, not on this matter. I have also a matter in front of you. I believe the case docket is 201-0608-SD. I remember last week we were speaking on that reference. I seen you last week on that matter, and you told me that we can revisit that issue when I see you again on this week. You got my bond set at a $25,000 bond on that as well. I was asking for some type of lowerance of that bond too. I mean, I'm trying to see my son first day of school as well as his birthday party this week. So, I mean, I've asked that you would consider that as well. And that's,
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I'm getting a little bit better. Yeah. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. I thought it was unmuted. I apologize, you guys. I've only been doing this a year. I can't say I'm new. I'm new to the live streaming part, though. Anyways, so yeah, I definitely am out of the relationship. It was before my husband. Actually, it was a couple different relationships. And before the last relationship, I had actually worked as a domestic violence investigator advocate for a county here in Michigan. So it can literally happen to anybody. It sucks. It's not an easy thing to deal with. I do know they do talk about it now in school. Just like they now talk about unwanted touch, stranger danger. Kind of like that was like a hush hush thing when I was in school. Although I am Gen X, so I'm a little bit older than I've been out of school a while. Been out of school for a long time. Anyways, I do know that they do talk about stuff like that nowadays as far as like an overall safety factor. Because teachers are mandated reporters, so they do talk about it so that the students can hopefully feel comfortable enough to go to their teacher and say something about it happening to try and prevent further violence or deaths and injury to other people. So wait, what? Am I the hoarder with a courtin? I don't know what a courtin is. A courtin. But I'm not a hoarder. If you were here at the beginning, you would have heard my explanation for this room was our living room, dining room, and kitchen is one huge open space. And we had our flooring replaced, and we had kind of packed everything up, and we just stashed it into the extra bedroom. And because my health was really bad, and it was kind of not like it involved fiber from my yarn business and stuff like that because I was sick, I couldn't really do anything with it. So we just never opened the room back up. But as far as being a hoarder, no, it was just I stacked boxes of stuff that I've slowly been going through and organizing because, like I said, I literally didn't know what I had. My husband is not the best packer and stacker. He just kind of shoves things places. So it was really, really bad. So yeah, definitely not a hoarder, but we do have a lot of stuff. That is for sure. We combined two households, like two complete houses into one. I think we have like 980 square foot home. We were actually looking for a home for a while. We were house shopping, and we were told we were approved for a mortgage, but they lied, and they didn't even like submit the paperwork, so we lost a house. But we're eventually going to be moving back into my husband's childhood home. So we just were like, you know what, we don't want to move because we've both moved independently. Before I moved in here and we got together, we both had moved multiple times, and we were just kind of like, we don't want to move anymore. So we're just here. So for just shoving things out of the way, are you sure you're not my husband? Because I'm pretty sure that's his response. Yeah, I have gone through a lot of my stuff. I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. My husband is on the spectrum, so that is more stressful for him, and it's harder for him to kind of get rid of things like books, even though he will never read the book again. He's like, well, I could read it again. It's not exactly hoarding like people seem to think. It's not. But like we don't have a garage or a basement, so what we have here in the first floor, that's all the space that we have. So, we don't have a basement or an attic. We have just a tiny little shed where all of like our lawnmower and everything like that has to go into that. So we actually don't have storage space. So yeah, I guess it kind of could look like we're hoarders, but it's just because we don't have any storage space. So I have so many excuses. They're not excuses, they're reasons. The main reason being we have zero storage space here. And if you're going to continue to be a bitch, you can fuck right off. Okay? You think you're funny? Okay, go fuck yourself. Bye-bye. Anyways, let's get back to the video, because this guy is he's something special.
Here's Mr. Johnson.
Your Honor, that's the operating while intoxicated. It appears the other felony got set for an exam on the 16th in front of Judge Valvo.
Let me just say this. Mr. Johnson, I told you that hoping to get all of these things done. And
Yes.
part of the problem with you is, as I tell you these things, you keep opening your mouth, causing more problems. I don't think you appreciate, even though I keep saying it to you, what a mess you have now created for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Within less than a week's time, you've changed the complexion of all of this by opening your mouth. So, Ms. Kleeman, did you want this set for final settlement conference and jury selection? I mean, I just have a feeling this is going to head.
No, when I clean, it stresses my husband out because I'm like, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. So he gets so stressed out because it's like he has to actually like make a decision, and he gets like hyper focused. Like I said, he's on the spectrum, so he struggles with that kind of stuff. And me, I have ADHD, but I'm like, go balls to the walls, clean everything all at once, and get rid of like everything. That's how I am. We're two vastly different people, that's for sure. But yeah, you would probably stress him out just as much as I do.
In a whole different direction than it normally would. But I mean,
Right.
I can set it, but
That's what he wants to do.
So when do I get to address the court?
what do you want to say, ma'am?
I want to say that I don't want to move forward with these charges, and the man needs to be home. Like, we need him out of there. Like, my son's first day of school is coming up. Like, it's his first day of school, period, overall. I don't want him to be in jail at all. He needs to be home. He has other kids. He needs to be home for it. And he's innocent. He didn't do it. And that lady I didn't have a conversation with that lady argued with me. I mean, from the time that I called her, the very moment that I said I didn't want to move forward, she literally argued with me the whole time. And she rudely interrupted the call, just hung up on me in my face. I asked to speak with multiple supervisors, never got a call back about the situation. Like, it didn't even have to go this far. Like, she want to do this. Why? I don't know. It's like, it's not this serious. And he never intimidated me or anything, like nothing. And I was never aware of the no contact.
Yeah, the jail calls are expensive.
Have you finished?
Focused on, dude. Buddy,
Yeah.
what the heck? What just
So
happened?
final settlement conference in this matter, might as well do the 17th and the 19th. Final settlement conference will be August 17th, 2022 at 1:30. Jury selection, if necessary, August 19th, 2022 at 8:30. I was sincerely hoping that at some point I could maybe reduce your bond in these cases, but given what I've seen, Mr. Johnston, you just keep messing this up. So I'm going to continue his bond. It's for a few more days because the other on his prelim that he's got on the 16th. What's his bond on that one?
His bond is still denied as to the probation violation. He has
Mr. Johnson, please. Go ahead, Ms. Kirby. What were you
Yes.
saying?
He has two bonds on this court's cases, the OWI and the MDOP. And then I don't see, I believe they are PR bonds on the R&O.
And the probation violation, my understanding is it was tracking the armed robbery case that got dismissed. So our understanding is the probation violation itself should be dismissed this afternoon as well.
And then there's, I'm sorry, so on the R&O, there's a $5,000 bond. And on the A and B, there is a $5,000 bond. And then he appears a trespass, a disorderly disturbing the peace, and another trespass. He was sentenced for this last week.
You were sentenced on those?
Or he took a plea, is what the
Flag, if I recall correctly, yes.
Ms. Clement?
Yes.
Well, I'll wait because I still won't be like I'm addressing the court, so I just wait.
Smart move.
Here's what I'm going to do. I can only set these as soon as possible. Mr. Kleeman, I think you can appreciate what I'm indicating that I'm trying to tell your client, that it becomes very difficult for me to do anything because he keeps opening his mouth. He didn't have a felony charge and now he's going to have another one. And he's asking me to reduce his bond because he's got, So what I'm going to do, I've set this out 9 days from today's day. On this matter, I'm going to continue his bond. Counsel, as you know the position of the complaining witness in this case, I think counsel need to get together as to how this matter is going to proceed. If it's going to proceed along the lines of some forfeiture based upon that other felony charge, or that felony charge is going to proceed, then I can, by written motion, take another look at his bond in this matter. But I mean, he just keeps making it difficult. Not a whole lot I can do. So I'll just continue it at this point, but figure that one out. Let him get arraigned on the other matter. And then we can see where this one as well as the other one play into it. That's the best I can do. And
Okay.
And Ms. Kleeman, you can have a very frank conversation with him as to how he's getting himself into this mess.
So what is the felony matter that you saying I got coming pending? I think I might hire outside help for that. Because I got a malicious prosecution lawsuit already being.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
It should be sworn in today, is what the prosecutor said. So it should be coming. Hopefully, you'll get the information by the end of the week, I would think.
And I'd like to have that one, I guess the other thing I'd say, so we can try to get these all together. I'd like to have that one filed if it can be administratively done prior to his final settlement conference, or certainly prior to the jury selection.
I only have the two misdemeanors for $25,000 bonds that's holding me in here right now.
Well, that's not my understanding of what they're saying.
Yeah, honestly, that's why I wanted to address you. I have PR bonds on the cases that you gave me for the felony murders next week. My probation violation right now, I can get the officer to come in here and tell you I'm only being held in here on 3 charges. Probation violation for the
Ms. Kleeman, put together everything that he says, because the other matter, he's just not getting this. It was tracking that case. It should be dismissed, but right now it's not dismissed.
Right.
No matter how much he's saying it to me, it's not. So, I mean,
yeah,
I'm done.
Today, 30.
Done.
Yeah,
Hey, Ms.
Judge
Clement,
Simpson
I'm gonna
would-
give you the contact.
Oh,
I'm gonna give you my Wayne County lawyer as well, so that you can give him the charges that's coming about. Because I've told you, I got the malicious lawsuit coming in. I'm filing for malicious prosecution. So
Muted, please.
I would like.
They can
And
they can
Your Honor,
talk to each other some other time. Yes.
before Mr. Johnson gets off the call, I would just ask to reiterate the no contact order.
He's already. Oh,
All right. I think it's rather clear that there is a no contact order at this point in time. Mr. Johnson,
he's gone, I think.
you just have a seat. And I'm just going to tell you this. There is a no contact provision at this point. I'm going to strongly suggest to you, sir, that certainly within the time of now, well, it will continue, but certainly between now and the final settlement conference, that you abide by that letter.
So that means, can I call her number to talk to my son at least?
No.
If I'm not contacting her, I can contact my son, correct?
Just quoting the family court judge from Las Vegas in that one there.
Sir, I
Judge
told you what the
Markey.
no contact provision is. I'm imploring you to do something. You don't tend to follow what I'm trying to tell you, but I'm just going to say it again to you, and you're going to do what you want to do.
No, I'm asking for the number, because that's the only number that I have to contact my son. So I'm asking, can I contact the number for my son?
Not now, sir. It would be safest to not do that right now for the next 9 days.
Okay. So,
Thank
I
you.
mean, hey, tell him happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, guys, don't forget to like
Thank
and
you.
subscribe. I forgot to say that. Okay. All right, so that was that one. My most viewed video. Honestly, I thought it would have been something else. Now we're gonna start watching something new. It's a case I stumbled on it this week. As I was looking for videos, like I obviously can't watch everything all at once. So, in the evening and stuff, I'm looking at some of the older videos that have been posted. And this video is out of Judge Bryant. It is a trial, and I apologize. It's like the second day, the middle of the trial. Basically, it was a baby mom came and they're trying to do a custody exchange. She came because she wasn't supposed to be there. She showed up. She ran over people with her car. Two of the victims that were hit by the car are on trial for assault or something. So that's what this is. The first defendant is the mother of the her son has the child that was in this custody exchange with the mother's family. It's like she wasn't allowed to be there. So like her grandparents were doing the custody exchange at his house, and his mom and him were hit by the baby's mom. The second defendant is the girlfriend of another of the first defendant's son. So her other son, it's his girlfriend. She was there. But this is the mom. So the grandma that was hit by the car, she is currently on the stand, and that's where this starts. Her testimony. It's Judge Bryant. You know how she is. Let's dive right in.
And I have to find the jury instruction. But while she's testifying, please understand that this testimony is only as it relates to Ms. Becker.
She's addressing the jury right now.
About what Ms. Miles may have said or done is not to be used against Ms. Miles. I believe, and I should have pulled the actual jury instruction, but it just dawned on me at that moment. So Ms. Becker's testimony is Ms. Becker's testimony. And if it comes up during the testimony, I may give specific instruction at the time, like, specifically, this is not to be used against Ms. Miles, and you're gonna have to kind of keep up with that. I know it may be a little difficult, but it just depends on what she said. And counsel, again, I apologize because I didn't think of it till just that moment, and I didn't pull the actual jury instruction.
Okay, so what the judge is explaining is there's two co-defendants. So defendant one is on the stand getting ready to testify. What she says is evidence can't be used against defendant number two as evidence. So, and then what defendant number two says can't be held against defendant number one, which is interesting because that does kind of happen in a lot of cases where there's co-defendants, or I wonder if it's because they're actual co-defendants and they're being tried together. If they were tried separately, I think what they say could be held against the other.
Okay, counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name?
Audrey Becker.
Ms. Becker, you're a defendant in this case?
Yes, I am.
Do you recognize the woman seated to my left?
Yes, I do.
Who is she? As far as
Shakira Mao.
Okay. And, who is she to you?
She's my granddaughter's mother, my son's girlfriend.
Okay. And we're going to go back to December 20th, 2020. You live on Devonshire?
Yes, I do.
What is your address?
5942 Devonshire Road.
Okay. Were you at that location on that day?
Yes, I was.
Was Miss Miles with you on that day?
Yes, she was.
Was you have a son?
Yes, I do.
And what's his name?
Nehemiah Becker.
Was he there?
Yes, he was.
Okay. Now, sometime that afternoon, roughly 3 o'clock or so,
This is uncomfortable for my leg because it's bent up. I need to
I
stretch.
apologize. What's going on right now?
she's having some physical discomfort.
Okay, well, what we're not gonna do is have the witness talking in not being responsive to a question. Okay, so if we need to put something on the record, I don't know what the nonverbal communication was that caused the witness to speak without being questioned, but we're not gonna do that. Ma'am, do you need any adjustment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well then adjust. What adjustment
I
do you
don't
need?
The feet doesn't move.
It does
My leg,
not.
Okay, so my leg can't be bent up like this. I have to stretch it out. Open the door. Okay, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
All right.
Uncomfortable now?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So, that afternoon, you were at your home.
Yes, I was.
Miss Miles was at your
Yes, she was.
home. Just recap it, but I'll move on.
You can't recap. She just got on the stand. What do you mean recap?
Well, there was a distraction, but
There's no distraction, counsel. Okay, please. There's no distraction. This is direct examination. The objection to leading questions is sustained. This is your witness. You may proceed.
Okay. Did something happen at that time? Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Something-
Usually, when a question is a yes or no answer, that's make it leading. But you may continue.
Okay. Now, you've been present during the trial.
Is it just me, or is Judge Bryant's courtroom always fairly chaotic? It always feels, every time I watch her, I feel like it's chaotic. I don't, maybe that's just how she is. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Correct?
Yes, I have.
And you saw Miss Bell testify.
Yes, I have.
You saw her mother testify.
Yes, I have.
Okay. Now, so, going back to December 20th, 2020, about 3:00 p.m., did you see any of these people at your home?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Who did you see first?
I saw Miss Sealer.
Okay.
I don't know her son's name. I do know it was her oldest son, her nephew, and then one of her twins.
All right. And what did you see or hear first?
There's a whole lot of extra people.
They were at my door.
Okay. Did you answer the door?
Actually, I looked at my ring because they rung the doorbell.
Did you greet Miss Sealer at the door?
Actually, I talked through the ring and said, just a moment.
Okay. And then at some point, did you respond and answer the door?
At some point, yes.
Well, at what point?
After I called 911.
All right, well, we'll get to that. So, all right, she was on the porch?
Yes, she was on.
Okay, and you've indicated a few other people were also in the house.
Correct.
Okay, did you see where they were?
Yes,
Where were they?
on my porch.
All of them?
The twin was on the step, the nephew was on the steps, Miss Sealer was at the door, and the oldest son was at the door.
Were any of them at the vehicle from which they arrived?
No,
All right, what's the next thing that happened?
I was looking out the window, giving 911 the description,
Why were you calling 911?
because all of them had came. We had a problem the night before with child protective service.
Oh.
Oh, I missed that.
And, you say your son Nehemiah was at home.
Yes,
Did he become involved in this interaction between yourself and these other people?
at some point, yes.
All right. He was on the side of the house? Well, this. Okay.
Counsel. What is your response to the objection to leading?
No response. I'll rephrase the question.
Thank you.
Where was your son, if you know?
In the home with me.
And at some point, do you know whether he left the house?
And then what happened next?
What happened?
And then he ran out the back door.
Okay. You saw that happen?
Yes.
What?
And then what happened?
And then I opened the front door.
And when you opened the front door, were those same people in those same locations as you've indicated?
Yes.
Did you see your son once he exited the house?
No, not at first.
Okay. Did you see your son at some later point outside the house?
Yes, I did.
How much later was that?
Probably just a couple of seconds.
Okay. A baseball bat?
Not at that time.
Counsel.
I'm sorry. Just- Everybody's already heard all this.
Counsel, listen, stop. You will not do that. Stop. Let's take the jury out, please.
Judge Alvin.
Let's take the jury out, please.
All rise to the jury.
Ooh, she's mad.
One moment. Okay, thank you. I don't start all the time. All right, you all may be seated. Not you, counsel. You can. Mr. Simon, you're going to stop. You're going to stop making speeches in front of my jury. You're going to stop responding to me in that way. I don't care if they've heard this testimony a million times. This is your witness. You will not cross-examine her. You will engage in direct examination. As far as this witness is concerned, we don't know anything about a bat. You can ask this witness what happened that day and like you're supposed to. But if you continue in this manner, let's just not continue in this manner. He can bring the jury back.
All rise for the jury.
All right, everyone except Mr. Simon. Thank you.
Mr. Bender. Testify. Well, what happened after you saw your son outside the house?
I stepped outside. It was words exchanged.
Between whom?
Between Nehemiah and,
I'll be right back. I need to get some popcorn.
if I'm not mistaken, it was Miss Sealer and her son that was next to her, that was on my porch.
Okay. And then what?
Like I said, words was exchanged. I heard the son say, "Go get my shit."
What did you believe that to me?
You have to speak up, Mr. Simon.
Which son? Okay, he said that, and then what happened next?
The twin and the cousin left off the porch. The mother began to come down the porch, and I was still on the phone with 911. And I was explaining to them what was taking place because they were asking questions.
911, who was asking questions?
The 911 operator that I was on the phone with.
Okay. So after these words are exchanged and this movement occurs, what happened next?
Nehemiah ran to the back of the house, and then when he came back around, he had a bat in his hand. I came down off the porch. By then, the oldest son was off my porch, but I have another little step, like before you get to my actual sidewalk. He was standing there. He was looking at Nehemiah. The mother was coming off the porch. I ran off the porch and I jumped in front of Nehemiah. And I told Nehemiah, "No, stop. The police is already on the way. I'm on the phone with 911 right now." The twin and the cousin was on their way towards the truck, and Nehemiah ran around me and ran towards the truck where they were going.
Where was the truck?
The truck was next door in front of my neighbor's house.
And they go in the truck?
No, they never made it in the truck because Nehemiah literally was scaring them away from the truck, telling them that he would hit them with the bat if any of them go to the truck. He said, "Ain't nobody getting in this MFing truck until the police gets here."
When you heard those words, something about "get my shit," what did you believe that to mean?
As if it was some type of weapon or something that they were trying to go get.
Okay. So Nehemiah is at the truck?
At this time, Nehemiah, I believe he had made it to the passenger door of the truck, because that's where the cousin was trying to get in. And then as the brother came from the back and he began to go towards the truck, Nehemiah ran around the front and went on that side. and told him he better get away from the truck.
All right. Where is the grandmother? I mean, the one who came to your door.
Miss Sealer. Miss Sealer was still standing at my, the banister at the end of my last step, not the second one you have to come down.
Did you, okay, so after this happened between your son and those gentlemen at the vehicle, what happened next?
And then at that point, I grabbed my son's shirt and I was pulling him back. I said, don't chase him. Don't chase him. The police is already on the way. At that time, Nehemiah was in my neighbor's driveway. I was standing, I don't want to say all the way out the driveway, but sidewalk and driveway, and I had the whole.
Overrule, but make sure there's a question.
So let me ask you this. Do you know where Miss Miles was at that time?
Miss Miles was still in the house. I'm sorry, she was still in the house.
Okay. While this is going on, did something happen?
Yes. At that time, I had Nehemiah's t-shirt, and out of nowhere, Miss Bell came and hit my son.
Okay. Where was Nehemiah when he was hit by Miss Bell?
In my neighbor's driveway at the sidewalk, right in front of me, sidewalk driveway. He was in the driveway and I was in between.
Okay. Can you describe how this collision?
It happened so fast. Out of nowhere, Miss Bell came, drove up in the driveway, hit my son. He flew up in the air and fell down on the driver's side of her car.
Okay. Where on the driver's side of her car?
Where, like, I want to say in between the driver's wheel and the back wheel. And he was laying there. My first initial reaction, I said to the 911 operator, oh my God, she just hit my baby. I then looked at her car. I saw the door was unlocked.
Thank you.
Slow down.
Go ahead.
Did you see Miss Miles at that time?
No, I still hadn't seen this.
Were you videotaping the incident?
No, I was on the phone with 911.
Were you laughing about the incident?
No, wasn't nothing funny about this.
All right. So your son is hit and you're on the phone. What happens next?
Again, I instantly looked, because by then she was in front of, her passenger door was dead in front of me. I looked at the passenger door. I seen the door was unlocked. I yanked the door open. I stepped in with one foot and I said, bitch, you just hit my son. And I reached in to grab a hold of, I don't know if her hand or arm was there, but I grabbed a hold to the steering wheel because I knew.
Slow down.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, got in the passenger side.
Not the defendant
Yes.
giving the attorney a permission to speak.
Did you see Miss Miles at that point?
No,
You reach in. Okay. What did you do when you reached in?
I reached in and I went to grab the steering wheel because I knew my son had flew up and went on that side, on the driver's side where those wheels were at. And I did not want her to instantly reverse her car and run over my child again.
Okay. All right. Did you punch her?
I did not punch her.
Did you pull her hair?
I did not pull her hair. My hair got pulled when I reached in to grab the steering wheel to turn it to keep it from going over my baby.
At any point while you're involved with Miss Bell, did you see Miss Miles?
No, I did not.
Do you know where she was at that time?
No, I do not.
Now, While you are involved with Miss Bell, what happens next?
My hand is on her steering wheel. My hair had been pulled. At that time, the car went in reverse. I still had a foot outside the car. It went in reverse. And I really don't remember exactly what happened after that. I don't know if I hit my head or whatnot, but I blacked out. When I did come through, I was in the middle of the street, laying on the ground, and I'm seeing Miss Bell run over my legs for the third time, riding past me.
So, do you recall anything that happened between your struggle with Miss Bell and when you found yourself on the ground in the street?
Yes, I did see, as I was in the car, my son bashing her car with the bat that he had.
Encouraging him to do that?
No,
Was anybody encouraging him to do that?
no.
Thank you. No.
Cross-examination.
Good afternoon, Ms. Becker. So, Ms. Becker, I just got a couple questions just to clarify about what went on December 20th, okay?
Okay.
And if you need me to repeat a question or you don't understand, just let me know and I'll try to rephrase or repeat the question, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so Ms. Becker, you testified that, Ms. Stiller and her kids were at your home, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did you know why they were there?
I had an idea. Yes, I did. That's why I called 911 first before I answered the door, before I opened the door.
So yes or no, did you know why they were at the home?
Yes,
So you know why they were there?
I had an idea. Yes.
Okay. And you testified that, while they were there, your son came out of the home, correct?
Yes, he did.
Okay. How was your son's demeanor when he came out of the home?
He was upset.
Okay. And, did your son have a bed at this time?
No, he did not.
He did not have a bed.
He went back in the house to grab the bag.
I'm
He
saying
didn't
at
have
this
it when he
time.
first.
when he
No,
first came
ma'am.
out.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. And at this point, you're on the phone with 911, that's what you testified?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you testified that you were on the phone with 911 the whole time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, Ms. Becker, did you tell 911 about what was going on at this time?
I told them, I was describing to them that Diamond Bell's mother and brothers were out on my front porch. And they had no business being at my house, is what I told 911.
What else did you tell 911?
At that time, other than describing.
Her
all
attitude
they
is
had
something.
on, nothing.
Nothing. So it was your testimony to Mr. Simon that somebody indicated that they were going to get a weapon, correct?
That's after we were outside on the porch.
My question is, did you testify to Mr. Simon that somebody indicated that they were going to get a weapon?
He said, hand me my shit.
Ma'am, can you listen to the question? The question is, did you testify to your lawyer that someone was gonna go get a weapon?
No, I did not testify to my lawyer that someone's gonna get a weapon.
You didn't just testify to Mr. Simon that somebody was going to get a weapon from the vehicle?
No, I did not.
Okay, did you tell, 911 that there was possible weapons on the scene, that you were scared?
Actually, I did.
You
I
did?
actually did I said, well, no, correction. No, I did not say that there was a weapon
Okay,
on the scene.
that's it,
Okay,
that's all,
okay.
okay. And
Okay.
where exactly were you, just for clarification, when Nehemiah got hit by Miss Bell in the vehicle?
I was on the sidewalk right near where the driveway was, because I had my son's t-shirt in my hand.
So your testimony, you were hanging on to your son's t-shirt?
Yes, the bottom of his t-shirt, I was pulling him back. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And you testified that when Ms. Bell hit your son, he flew up.
Yes, ma'am.
So how, in your opinion, how fast was Ms. Bell moving?
I don't know. I can't say, in my opinion, probably about 45, 50 miles, probably because the impact of her hitting my son, you literally heard it.
Okay, so you can hear the impact of her hitting your son?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't get hit by the vehicle?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so is your testimony that
That's
he got
crazy.
hit with the vehicle and you were holding on to his t-shirt and you did not get hit by the vehicle?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, just keep in mind, she
At this
says
time,
she wasn't
were you
hit.
still on the phone with 911?
Yes, I was.
Okay, so the whole time you're on the phone with 911 at this
Yes,
time?
ma'am.
Okay. And you testified that when Ms. Bell hit Nehemiah with the vehicle, you jumped in the car and grabbed the wheel with both hands?
I grabbed the wheel. I'm not saying both hands. I can't.
Ma'am, don't talk, hold on. Don't talk over the prosecutor.
Oh, she was finished.
Ma'am, she wasn't finished. Don't talk over the prosecutor, and if she interrupts you, stop.
Okay. Okay.
Ms. Ridley?
Thank you, Judge. Yes or no, did you testify that you grabbed both the wheel with both hands?
No, I did not.
You didn't just testify to the jury that you grabbed both the driving wheel of Ms. Bell's car with both of your hands?
No, ma'am. I said I was reaching with both of my hands to grab the wheel. And then I was able to grab the wheel and my hair was being pulled.
Okay, so how were you still on the phone with 911 if you used both of your hands to try to grab the wheel?
Because my phone fell in her car.
Okay, and you were still on the phone with 911?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna hear that call here
And
in a
you
second.
testified that you did not see Ms. Miles at this point while this is going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You also testified that you don't remember what happened afterward, you blacked out, correct?
For a minute, yes, ma'am.
Okay, at what point did you black out?
And I'm guessing it must have been in the process of her moving the car back, because I don't remember being dragged, but I had the bruises to show that I got dragged with the car. I don't remember that part. I don't remember her.
Ms. Ridley, the
Okay,
question is, how long was she black out?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
Ma'am, don't talk back to me. Let me say something. Don't talk back to me. I'm not having conversations
Judge
with
Bryant
anyone in
does
this
not
courtroom.
play.
Counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. So, how long were you blacked out, Ms. Bell? I'm sorry, Ms. Baker.
I'm not quite sure. I really don't. Everything
She
happened.
doesn't know. Next question. Thank you. Do you recall getting off the phone with 911?
No.
Okay.
I recall my phone dropping in the car as the altercation was taking place. At some point it dropped, so I was no longer on the phone with them, but the phone was still had them on the phone, put it that way.
Okay, so, how long, to your knowledge, was this whole incident taking place?
What part? I'm sorry.
From when you called 911 to when you blacked out?
Oh, Lord. Maybe 20, 25 minutes. I'm not quite sure.
Okay, so for 20, 25 minutes, you were on the phone with 911?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, Your Honor, at this time, the people are playing 911 audio labeled as 5952 Devonshire number 2.
Call 1. Call on Sunday, December 20th, 2020, 3:12 and 56 seconds p.m.
Detroit 911, what is the address of the emergency?
5942 Devonshire Road.
Thank you. Is that a home site on apartment, ma'am?
I'm sorry, you said what? Oh, it's a house. I'm sorry.
Okay, what's your side, Cross Street?
Oh, give me my coat. Give me my coat. I'm cold. This is Linville and Hartford.
Okay.
At this time, people stop the audio. Ms. Becker, is that you on the call?
Yes, it is.
911?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Does the people continue playing the 911 audio?
Okay.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Well, my son's wife's mother and her sons is over at my house. We got a child protective service order out on them, on her, and I'm trying to understand why these kids and the mama come over here like this. I'm trying to understand it.
You said they're there now, ma'am?
Yeah.
So you
Nico, don't do that.
At this time, when people are stopping a 911 call, who are you referring when you're saying Nico? Who's Nico?
That's my son,
What's his real name?
Nehemiah.
Okay, so in the audio, you're telling him no, correct? That's what you're telling him no.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Judge, at this time, people continue playing the 911 call.
I'm over here and my son is going crazy because they all over his son stuff. I'm here. I'm not nobody. They just came over here. No. And they opened it at my house. And they shouldn't have come here.
I understand, man. I think he's conflicted over there.
Mhm.
What my phone is?
Remember, she said her phone fell into the car, and you can hear the music. So she's already run over the Nehemiah. So her baby daddy, she ran him over, and his mom as well.
Hello. Hello. I think someone didn't call no responsive call.
Yeah, it's a non-responsive call, so they hang up. Detroit Fire doesn't play, or Detroit PD, they don't play when that they don't stay on the line very long.
So, Ms. Becker, and for the record, Your Honor, the people stopped playing the 911 audio call. So, Ms. Becker, you heard the 911 recording, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so where in that 911 recording did you tell the operator that someone could possibly have a weapon?
Okay. Again, I said.
Thank you so much, the Triggered Limey, for $5. Says happy YouTubeaversary. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
No, I did say it. But if I don't know if it's two, what's the name?
You're not answering my question. Where in that 911 call that we heard in court, did you tell the 911 operator that there was a weapon?
On that one, it didn't show. I mean, it didn't say it on that.
Okay, but you testified that you were on the phone with 911 for 25 minutes.
Okay, it might not have been 25 minutes, ma'am.
Okay,
I
so
was on the phone and I did tell them that because
It was a lot shorter.
where
Ma'am, it was not.
tried to.
No. Ms. Ritter, your question. Did you hear yourself on that 911 audio call telling the operator that there was a possible weapon on scene?
No, not on that one.
Okay, but in fact, you did hear yourself on the 911 call telling your son to stop.
Yes, ma'am.
And you heard yourself on the 911 call telling the operator that your son was being aggressive, correct?
Yeah, I said that. I didn't say aggressive,
that's it.
but yes.
That's it.
But yes.
Okay. So how long were you on the phone with 911 again, ma'am?
On that video?
Ma'am, the question is not about the video.
Again, I don't know.
Hold on.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's hold on. All right, we're gonna take the jury out, let them get a 5-minute break. Listen. Y'all ain't gonna cut me off. I'm not laughing. Listen, stop. You're gonna stop. You're very animated.
Yes.
You've been animated from the beginning. But let me tell you this, ma'am. This is my courtroom. Argue with me again. Cut me off again. So I need you to take a 5-minute break and take your breath. It's not a good look in front of the jury. And I'm trying not to admonish you in front of this jury. You're gonna stop. You're going to stop. When I give an instruction in this courtroom, that's it. That's all. This applies to everybody in here. Whatever I say, when I say it, I meant it when I said it. You're not gonna argue with me, because I'm not gonna argue with you. You're not gonna overtalk me. I'm in charge. In case there's any confusion of anyone in here, in case there's any confusion, Judge Lanice Bryant is presiding. I am in charge. Don't do that again. If I tell you to stop, stop. I need you all to stop talking over each other. Courtney is one court reporter. She has to take down the record. She cannot take two people talking at the same time and interrupting questions. However, if the prosecutor interrupts you because you are being non-responsive, then you stop.
Thanks for stopping by. I greatly appreciate it. I know how it is with the work, but enjoy the lurking. I promise I'll try to keep my comments to a minimum.
It is up to your lawyer to stand and say, well, Judge, she didn't finish her answer. Judge, can she finish her answer? But I need everybody to understand you all gonna stop this. You're gonna stop it. All right. Does anybody need a break before I bring the jury back in? Okay, let's take a little 3-minute break or so. Let's start back up at, oh, that's 2:54 on the back clock. Let's just start back up at, no, just hurry up. 3 minutes or so right before 3 o'clock.
Nah, just hurry up. Okay. No, Judge Bryant.
Okay, so I think my last question was, how long was it before you blacked out? That was your testimony that you blacked out, correct?
Correct.
How long was it before you blacked out?
I'm not sure.
Okay. And you testified that at the time that this bell hit your son with the vehicle, he was underneath the car, correct?
No, ma'am. He flew up in the air and came down on, actually, he came down on the side of her car because he hit the top of her, the hood, and went down on the side of her car. And I saw his head, the only part I could see of his body was his head.
Where were you at this point when
I was still on the sidewalk.
Okay. And you said he came down on the side of the car. Describe that to the jury. So he was no longer in front of the car, correct?
No, he was no longer dead in front of the car. No, ma'am.
Okay. So why were you trying to turn the steering wheel if he was on the side of the car?
Because I didn't know if she would back up to hit him again.
But he
Or
was
to run over him. He was laying on the ground.
Okay, but he was no longer in front of the car. That's your testimony, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So
To reverse. I didn't want her to reverse over him. That's what I meant. I didn't want her to hit him again. I didn't want her to reverse over him. That's what I meant.
Ms. Becker, my question was, he was no longer in front of the car, but you testified that you tried to turn the wheel.
I did.
Why did you try to turn the wheel if he was no longer in front of the car?
Because he was on the side where the back tire and the front tire was. I didn't know if she would begin to put her car in reverse. Again, when she came, it was an angle. And she came up in a driveway, so her car was not like straight head on. It was at the, when you turn in a driveway, you're not going in the driveway completely straight. You're gonna be at a little bit of an angle, not a hard angle, but it was a little bit enough for me to think that if she put that car in reverse, she's gonna back over him again.
Okay, Ms. Becker, I'm a little bit confused.
Okay.
So, you said that she came at a fast pace and hit him with the front of her car. That was your testimony.
She came at a fast pace and turned up in the driveway and hit him. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the front of his vehicle. I thought with the front of her vehicle.
Yes, it could have been the very front or the side. I am not quite sure.
So was it the front or the
Okay,
side?
go ahead. No, I didn't mean the side. I was saying, when you come in a driveway and you're turning, I don't know if it's dead front or was it dead side, but it's the front, it's still the front of her car, is what I'm saying.
But you testified that you were standing right on the sidewalk and you witnessed what happened, correct?
Correct.
But you don't know if it was the front or the side of the car.
Correct.
Okay. And you testified at this point you did not see Ms. Miles at all?
No, ma'am, I did not see Ms. Miles at the time.
She was not outside?
I didn't say that. I said I didn't see her.
So if you didn't see her, how do you know if she was outside or not?
Because she was behind me when Miss Bell moved the car, as it was going in reverse, put it that way. She and I fell back.
Okay, so when did Ms. Miles, because you just testified to Mr. Simon that Ms. Miles wasn't outside, so when did Ms. Miles come outside?
I don't know.
But you know she was next to you when Nehemiah got hit.
When Nehemiah, no, I didn't say when Nehemiah got hit. I said when I got hit. I knew for a fact that she was, because she was trying to get me off the ground. And she kept saying, get up, get up. And I said, I can't.
Okay, not responsive, Ms. Ritter. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused, Ms. Becker. So when you never testified to Mr. Simon that you got hit?
Yes, I did.
Okay. I asked you, did you get hit when you were holding on to Mr. Becker's shirt? You said no. So when did you get hit?
When she put the car in reverse. I had one foot out and one foot in.
I want to know how she got a foot in the car.
Put the car in reverse, and that's when I got hit. Because I got ran over a total of 3 times.
Who ran you over 3 times?
Diamond Bell.
And you were on the phone with 911 the whole time you got ran over by 3 times?
No, ma'am, my phone had fell in her car.
Okay, so how do you know you got ran over 3 times if you blacked out?
Because I have 3 dents in my leg, and they'll be there for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
I have one more, Judge.
She needs 100 moments.
Questions, Ms. Becker. So just to clarify, you testified that you were hit 3 times, correct?
I was ran over 3 times.
When you say ran over, describe to the jury what you mean by ran over.
Literally, my legs literally ran over. The wheels actually went over my legs, ran over. That's what I mean by ran over.
So your legs got ran over by the wheel and you're inside the wheel?
No, ma'am. I don't know how I got completely out of her vehicle. Like I said, I had one leg standing on the ground and one leg in her car when she put it in reverse. How I got entangled up under the wheel, I don't know.
So you're testifying that Miss Bill put her car in reverse and you got ran over 3 times. Is that your testimony, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Another further. Did you redirect?
Yes. All right. So, explain again how it is that you got yourself into that car along with
Mr. Simon, do me a favor, just, yes, thank you.
Oh, did you get into Miss Bell's car?
Not completely.
Which part of you was in the car?
My right foot.
And which part of you was not in the car?
My left leg, foot, leg.
Okay.
Okay.
And what happened when the car was put in reverse, as far as you can recall?
I can recall when the car went into reverse, My hair was being held onto the car door. My son
I want to know how the
had
door
the
got open.
passenger car door, the top of the door. I seen him pulling the door as the car was moving. Now,
Oh.
when she backed up some kind of way, I got entangled under the car. She backed up over my leg the first time. She hit the car behind her.
I still want to know how she got her right foot in the car, because it doesn't sound like the door was open. Her son was pulling on the door. He might have got the door. But how did she come around? She had to go around the door, so then around her son, and get her foot in the car. That's like, I don't know, that's a whole level of gymnastics that I am not familiar with.
She put the car in drive again because she had to get off of the car that she hit across the street. She rolled over my leg again. And when she backed up again, the bottom part of my leg was rolled over. And that's when I seen her. That's when I seen her literally driving off after the last time my leg got ran over.
So you say you were run over one time when the car was initially backed up and you fell out?
Correct.
And then the second time?
The second time is when she put it back in drive because she hit the car behind her.
Third time?
And the third time is when she put it in reverse again to back all the way out the driveway again.
Thank you, Bruja. I appreciate it.
She stood around, so I might go reports that she had involved in a personal injury accident?
No. I'm sorry, Counsel, what was your question?
Whether Ms. Bell remained to report to the police of a personal injury accident.
Okay. No.
And I noticed you walked up to the stand with a lip.
Okay. I don't know why the video cut out like that. That was what I had on recorded. I don't think there was much more. Yeah, Alex stopped by. Alex texted me and stopped by, so we're good. I'm gonna go back and see if I can catch the end of her testimony, but it was literally the very, very end. I'm gonna end this live here. I'm gonna go ahead and schedule a broadcast for tomorrow at 1:15. Actually, you know what? Let's do it at 1:30, because apparently 1:15 is a little bit of an odd time for folks, and no one is ever here on time. So tomorrow, so I got popcorn in my mouth. I have the testimony of the second defendant. So her story and what she saw. So that'll be tomorrow, plus closing arguments and the verdict. Tomorrow at 1:30, right here on this channel. Thank you everyone for joining me for my YouTubeaversary. I greatly appreciate it, including the trolls. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. We will conclude this case. And on that note, Jimmy Glitch, thank you for watching, and I will see you later.